This is the entertainment business. And Anthony Joshua is an entertainer. And you can't undo the fact that he won the World Heavyweight Championship twice. And he fought in some great fight.
I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, "Oh well, it was Jake Paul." Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him, and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter.
The hype for Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua has erupted into one of the wildest discussions the world of boxing has witnessed in years. John Fury was quick to step in, making sure the question of a Jake Paul win was fully ruled out. He termed this as a no challenge to Joshua, but a light workout, saying that once Joshua catches him clean, Jake will go down. Fury says Jake has gathered confidence against smaller men, retired fighters, and guys who didn't punch like true heavyweights. He says Joshua's power is on an entirely different plane, and Jake will step into the ring thinking he's ready, but will soon find out the brutal difference between influencer boxing and true world-class heavyweight boxing.
But Anthony, listen to me. Don't take a dive with this Jake Paul, mate. Do not do that, not for $1 billion, my pal. Don't do it. Don't do as the others have done. Do not take dives. If he fights, you knock him dead as a nit, and good luck with it.
Tyson says he's got to bet £1 million on Jake Paul knocking out Joshua.
This is what I'm saying. How's that work?
He can't, can he?
Anthony Joshua could knock Jake Paul out with his So if it goes any other way, you know...
You give me a headline there, by the way.
If it goes any other way, you know it's fixed, don't you? Enough said. Enough.
David Benavidez gave his view on the bout and was respectful, but real at the same time. He said he respects Jake for stepping into a real challenge for once, instead of avoiding dangerous matchups. But even with that respect, Benavidez still predicted that Joshua will put Jake to sleep without any real resistance. He said Joshua's speed, reach, footwork, and natural punching power are so far beyond anything Jake is prepared for. Benavidez said Jake might believe his confidence in training can save him, but when a heavyweight like Joshua fires a straight right, belief will not matter at all.
I give 100% respect to Jake Paul, but that's a dangerous fight for him. He probably gets knocked out, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not saying nothing bad, but Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. You know, he's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him. Yeah. But big respects to Jake Paul. It's going to be a good card, you know what I mean? It's a big fight, and it's a good fight, man. I give 100% respect to Jake Paul for even taking that fight.
Eddie Hearn was asked about the real reason Joshua took this unusual fight. He gave a very honest answer based on the aspect of business. He said the financial reward is enormous, and any leading fighter would accept one that pays so much with so little risk attached. Hearn said, people forget boxing is an industry too, and when a fighter like Joshua sees a giant payday, he would be foolish to decline it. He emphasized that Joshua isn't scared, isn't pressured, and isn't worried about Jake himself.
Are you really going to do this? Absolutely. Are we going to do this? For a record payday? To go in and spark Jake Paul before we start the serious stuff in 2026? Don't tell me what we should and what we shouldn't be doing. Answer the question honestly. Would you do it if you were AJ? When are you going to fight a real fighter? It goes well out the window, and I will have to personally provide a wheelbarrow so he can bring his cojones into the ring that night.
Hearn pushed further and explained that the entire matchup exists because the fans demanded it. He said social media pressure built huge interest around Jake Paul fighting a real heavyweight, and once the hype grew large enough, the business side became obvious. Hearn said, when Joshua wins, critics shouldn't try to disrespect him by saying he only beat a YouTuber because Joshua's actual career accomplishments are already secured. He reminded everybody that this fight is for entertainment and not legacy, and people should stop pretending otherwise.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua 50-50 fight, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ... I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him, and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world, make the fight.
Michael Bisping took a harsher view, thus stating this fight puts Joshua in a lose-lose situation. He said if Joshua destroys Jake, fans will say it was expected and give him zero credit. And if Jake somehow lands a lucky shot or makes it competitive, then Joshua will be mocked endlessly. Bisping says the risk to reward ratio is strange because Joshua gains nothing historically, but still exposes himself to unnecessary criticism. He believes the only winners in this fight are the fans, who get chaos, drama, and entertainment no matter what happens in the ring.
That's right. And for Anthony Joshua, as I said, this is kind of a lose-lose, right? Because if he wins, people are still going to say, well, you only beat Jake Paul, right? The man that lost to Tommy Fury, after all, right? That's the only loss in his record, Tommy Fury. You're telling me that Tommy Fury is going to beat him and then Anthony Joshua's not going to beat him? So if he beats him, he gets no credit. And if he loses, then holy can you imagine? That would be the biggest downfall of any boxer's career.
Simon Jordan stepped to Joshua's defense and shut down the criticism, saying people act like Joshua's entire career is erased the moment he takes one entertainment-driven matchup. Jordan mentioned that Joshua has fought killers, world champions, and some of the most dangerous heavyweights in the sport, and this fight does nothing to damage that history. Jordan insisted fans should allow fighters to make business decisions that benefit them financially without treating them like they've betrayed the sport.
This is the entertainment business, and Anthony Joshua is an entertainer, and you can't undo the fact that he won the world heavyweight championship twice. And he fought in some great fights.
Jordan then doubled down, stating Joshua made the smart choice. He called it an easy payday, adding that while Jake has improved, he's nowhere near the level of a top heavyweight. Jordan said that from the moment the bell rings, Joshua will be in control, adding Jake is stepping into a danger zone he doesn't fully understand. He further said Jake might think he's ready, but readiness and real reality are not the same thing when a giant like Joshua starts throwing real knockout punches with full intent.
Because he's in the business of entertainment. And if an opportunity is presented to him and someone wants to say that we can monetize this to the huge levels that are potentially available, why wouldn't you? It's a walk in the park.
Although Jordan defended Joshua's decision, he meanwhile described the fight as a joke on every level from a sporting point of view. He said, it has no merit as an actual competitive match, but is an event created for the sake of a spectacle and to make money. Jordan says that boxing has always had events like this, a crossover event, and if you will, and this one is merely part of that tradition. He told fans to stop taking it as some kind of serious elite contest, and remember the actual point is to entertain, not to find out who's the best fighter.
It tells you that there's a huge opportunity for enormous amounts of money to be generated around a fight that really has no integrity behind it in terms of as a fight, but in terms as a media spectacle and entertainment opportunity.
Rampage Jackson joined the conversation, and he spoke with utter conviction. He said anyone picking Jake is ignoring reality. Rampage said Joshua's punching strength is something Jake has never even come close to experiencing. He likens it to stepping from a shallow pool straight into the open ocean. Rampage believes the second that Joshua decides to throw with real force, the fight will be over instantly. He said Jake's toughness and ambition are not enough to stop what is coming when Joshua lands clean.
Did you see Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul is happening? Who you got and how?
Man, you got to go with Anthony Joshua. You just got to go with Anthony Joshua on him. I think Anthony Joshua by knockout. Yeah, I think Jake will probably get knocked out in the third round.
Ariel Helwani also leaned heavily toward Joshua and referenced his victory over Francis Ngannou. He expressed that if Joshua could do damage to someone as big and dangerous as Ngannou, then Jake Paul will certainly be in big trouble. Jake may have a lot of confidence and a really good right hand, but none of those things prepare him for a world-class heavyweight. He added that the skill disparity is absolutely huge, and once Joshua starts finding his range, he's going to feel a type of power he's never imagined in sparring.
The Joshua thing is crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes, and this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone forever.
Carl Frog didn't share this confidence. He said he sees no hunger or ambition coming from Joshua, and such a fact deeply concerns him. Frog believes that when the fighter loses desire, his sharpness goes out and his reaction times go down. He warned that Jake is younger, more active, and far more motivated, which may further create surprising moments in the ring. According to Frog, Joshua cannot afford to sleepwalk into this matchup, as Jake has timing and enough power for danger if AJ gets careless.
What else have we got to consider? Is AJ cashing out? Well, I did say a year ago when he got splattered by Daniel Dubois that he's finished now. He won't get that confidence back. He's not had any confidence, you know, in his head. No belief for a long time. And I don't think he can get back to world level. There's a couple of new young guns now coming up and coming through. It's like a changing of the guard. And when Usyk retires, I don't know what Daniel Dubois is going to do next, but what Daniel Dubois did to him, then he went on and lost to Usyk. But there's a few new heavyweights coming through, Moses Atalma, just to mention one. And you wouldn't start putting AJ in with any of these young up-and-comers that can punch hard, because I just don't think he's got the chance, because the ambition and the desire is going to be gone. So AJ most definitely is cashing out, and you can't fault him. Fair play to him. He's going to get a massive payday, maximise his exit route by fighting fake Paul.
Tyson Fury caused a stir when he described the fight as a 50-50 contest. According to Fury, one thing about boxing is that it's completely unpredictable, and anything can happen once you step inside a ring. He claimed Jake doesn't have elite skill, but he has hard timing, confidence, and nothing to lose. Fury explained that Joshua has been knocked out before, and that single vulnerability makes the fight interesting. He said fans writing Jake off completely are forgetting how chaotic boxing can be.
Do you regret the Joshua fight not happening?
No, I don't. I don't regret anything. Life's too short for regrets.
What do you think of Jake Paul calling him out?
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a real 50-50 fight.
Tony Bellew completely rejected Fury's opinion and said that in real terms, the matchup is nowhere near 50-50. Bellew said Joshua has too much talent, too much experience, too much size, and too much power for Jake to handle. If the fight happens, he said, Joshua will break Jake down early and finish him brutally the very moment he gets comfortable. Bellew said Jake has improved, but improvement does not erase the gigantic gap between a seasoned heavyweight champion and a YouTuber with limited professional experience.
What happens when I think we both know, but for the sake of saying it specifically, if the two of them do collide in the ring,
Josh and Jake, yeah. I don't believe it. I don't believe a single thing until I see him in the ring. I don't believe any. Even if they come together for a press, I don't believe it. I don't genuinely believe he will climb into a boxing ring with 10-ounce gloves on with Anthony Joshua. It won't happen. It can't.
Hypothetically, if it does, how long does it last?
As long as Josh wants it to. Simple as that. As long as he wants it to. The same way it did with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. The same way it did with Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou.
Simon Jordan once again spoke, this time with pure fire, as Joshua will flatten Jake Paul without hesitation. Jake talks confidently and knows how to build up fights, but none of that will keep him safe when he is standing across from a man who has knocked out real heavyweights. Jordan said Joshua's punching power is the kind that would remind the world of the difference between social media boxing and real championship level combat. He expects an early knockout no matter what kind of heart Jake brings.
Simon, I know the money's there, but does ultimately boxing get damaged?
Well, I think so. But I think boxing damages itself left, right and centre. But I think the reputability and the credibility of some of these boxing sanctioning bodies is poor anyway. But I think it does get damaged.
Even if it's an exhibition fight, which it might well be.
Well, then what's the jeopardy in that? If it's an exhibition fight, which it shouldn't be, if it's a proper fight, then Jake Paul is going to get demolished. He's going to get...
The last major issue is whether this fight even occurs. The contract calls for Joshua to weigh in at a weight of 242 pounds, and he has not been close to that weight in 3 years. Heavyweights cutting weight is always dangerous, and cutting it in a careless fashion can weaken that fighter both in strength and stamina, and even in recovery. This creates uncertainty because Joshua may have major problems safely trying to meet that requirement. The hype keeps getting bigger and bigger, and the energy is only rising in regards to this matchup. If you want more fast breakdowns, fight predictions, and expert reactions, subscribe so you never miss what's coming next.